And I see now that a week out of ceremony, it has really helped me. I feel changed on a very deep level. I don't have that sense of insecurity that I was going through and the self-doubt in my path and who I am as a person. It has really helped me in that area so much. So I'm very grateful for that. Hello everybody, I am so excited to be back. I've taken about a 2-week hiatus from this channel and I've missed it so much, but I just really haven't felt up to making a video at all. I've been very deep within myself, super introspective and contemplative, and just kind of taking a step backwards to reassess every single thing in my life, how I want to move forward with this channel, and really just kind of reassessing the person that I am in general. I've had a pretty big experience and I want to share it with you guys. I had my very first experience with the plant medicine known as ayahuasca. And this is something that I've been wanting to do for a really, really long time. I've been called to it for many years, but honestly, it's something that is pretty intimidating. And if you haven't heard of it quite yet, just hold tight. I am gonna explain it all to you and break everything down, including my first experience. And this is, like I said, something that I felt extremely called to, that I plan on journeying with for the rest of the year. So I'm really excited to see how this all unfolds, how it helps me to transform my life in ways that I haven't yet been able to do on my own. And one little disclaimer first and foremost before we move forward, I am totally someone who believes in the power of plant medicine, including psilocybin and ayahuasca, and there are so many other amazing plant medicines as well. Yes, these are psychoactive substances, and I know it's not for everybody, and I know that people have big opinions about it, but I'm gonna tell you right now, this is my channel. This is the kind of stuff that I'm interested in and that I'm doing. And if it's not your journey and you don't resonate with it, by all means, I say this with the most heartfelt, sincere appreciation for your belief systems. You are invited to just exit the video and go somewhere to another channel whose belief systems you more so resonate with. I'm honestly more so than ever at the point in my life, more than I've ever been, where I really don't feel like I need to explain myself or why I do what I do to anybody. Well, like I said, this is my channel, this is my platform, and I know that this is such a deep healing tool, and I want to share it with people. So if you are interested in learning about ayahuasca, then you are more than welcome to stay here. But I thought I'd add that in there. But for all of you, welcome back if this is not your first time on my channel. But if it is, hi, my name is Yelena Crawford. So this channel is all about astrology, spirituality, and yeah, just pretty much anything that can help us to raise our consciousness. So I'm gonna be talking a lot more on psilocybin and ayahuasca and my journey as it unfolds with these specific substances. I've had some pretty healing and deep transformational experiences with psilocybin that have really changed my life and healed me on such a deep, profound level that I was really excited to step into the ayahuasca realm. And I felt like I had been readier than ever to face some of my shadows and get to a deeper level of healing that I haven't quite been able to access within myself. Yes, I do 100% full-fledged believe that you can do this healing on your own. However, I feel like I'm on a mission here, and I have a lot of things that I want to help other people to achieve. And if there is a tool where I can face my shadows and do the inner work on a more accelerated path, I'm all for it. So that's why I have chosen this path. I felt called to it. Not everybody feels called to it. This medicine is definitely not for everyone. And I'm going to use that as an even bigger disclaimer. If you do not feel called to use this medication, don't do it. It's definitely not for everybody. So what is ayahuasca in the first place? I just have a couple notes here because I want to make sure it's pretty complex and I want to make sure that I'm depicting it in the correct way. So if I do pronounce anything wrong and you are some type of ayahuasca expert, slap my hand and I will try to get it right the next time. But anyways, this is, like I said, a psychoactive visionary tea or brew. It's usually used only in a religious and spiritual setting to help raise consciousness levels, do deep transformational healing, and things like that. But now more so than ever, it's starting to gain popularity in the Western culture. So obviously, there are a lot of people who don't really have maybe the spiritual intentions at heart or the intentions of necessarily bettering themselves, who are traveling to indigenous places such as Peru or Brazil or wherever it might be, where these types of retreats are held. And they're, infiltrating the area and doing it for the wrong reasons, which is unfortunate. And I definitely do not want to give myself the wrong name and for the reasons that I'm doing this. I truly believe in what these tribes and different indigenous cultures are trying to do. I believe in their belief systems, and I'm doing this for the same reasons, to heal myself and to help heal other people, right? I feel a very strong call and resonance with that specifically. Now, I haven't had the opportunity to travel out of the country to do this, but I definitely do plan on doing that in the future, and I'm very excited to immerse myself in different cultures and learn through experience, right? It's the best thing that you can possibly do. So that is definitely something that I plan on partaking in the future. Ayahuasca is made from two specific ingredients. It is made from, I can't tell you how to pronounce the name of the plant, and I'm not going to even try, but it's the leaves of a specific plant from the jungle, and these are called chacruna leaves. And then it is also mixed with a vine, the ayahuasca vine, from the plant or vine called B. capi. And the chacruna leaves are what contain DMT, also known as dimethyltryptamine. So it is a very, very powerful, they say the world's most powerful hallucinogen. And like I said before, this is not just an experience for you to go and trip your balls off like a lot of people may think from watching this. If you don't have any previous knowledge on plant medicines and what these are actually used for. This is not a party drug, okay? So if you are interested in just kind of, getting one off and like going to have fun for a night, this is not your drug. Go do something else, okay? Because this is a very intense experience that takes a lot of dedication and self-mastery as well. So I would definitely not recommend this. It's a purgative. And what that means is that you purge a lot of issues and emotional blockages and a lot of toxicity and everything within the body through vomiting and diarrhea and hot and cold sweats and crying and big giant yawns and many other different ways of purging and getting all of this stuff up and out of your body, right? So that is one of the lovely side effects that's actually extremely liberating. Really not as bad as it sounds. Like I said, I've only had one experience so far, so I'll let you know my opinion on that in the future. I'm doing 2 more ceremonies at the end of May, so we'll talk about that one later on my second video. But so the DMT usually will get broken down in the body very easily through the digestive tract and the liver and everything. So usually the body would not be able to have this experience, this visionary hallucinogenic experience. That is why it's combined with something, and this something that it's combined with, which I believe is the vine, is what's called an MAO inhibitor. And that is what helps it to pass through the digestive system without being broken down specifically. What are some of the features? What are some of the amazing reasons why people do ayahuasca, right? Because like I said, it's not just for the hallucinogenic effects. That is literally one little piece of the puzzle, which I'm just now learning through my experience that not everyone receives the visionary state every single time. And I had that experience this time, which I will explain to you. But that doesn't mean that you didn't get an experience, because I had a very powerful experience. So what this does is it helps to open the mind. It helps for you to see different perspectives and see the world in a different way, which can make it extremely life-changing. And that's why it can be hard to return to the normal world afterwards, after you have opened your mind up to what really exists beyond these realms, beyond the veil. It can cause people people to have serious spiritual awakenings and transformations. Even if you've already had a spiritual awakening, it deepens you into it further. It helps you to heal from trauma. So every single one of us has traumas, which a lot of this stuff deep down within us we don't realize really affected us, especially the childhood trauma that we've had from a very small age. And a lot of this stuff stays in our body, it stays in our energetic field, and it blocks us from really excelling in life and reaching our full potential. A lot of times we don't even realize how much it is truly affecting us. And a lot of this stuff can be really challenging to look at, you guys, to face your own shadow, to really truly face yourself. It takes somebody with some balls, right? It takes somebody with courage and bravery. It's a true warrior type of path, I would say. It helps to, like I said, remove energetic blockages or heal from things like addiction. It's crazy if you look at some of the success rates from people who had serious addictions to even things like crystal meth and heroin that was very, very serious. It doesn't have to be that serious, of course, but like even severe cases of alcoholism or whatever it might be, you have somebody who has journeyed with ayahuasca a few times that comes out of it being completely different, completely healed, and able, to face life from a way stronger standpoint. Now, of course, this is going to require you to come home and continue this journey of work. It's not like you just do ayahuasca and you're like, I'm healed. It takes a certain amount of work from you afterwards as well, right? But this is a tool to help you get there. PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, or I've heard of people who went to war, who were severely damaged and had severe trauma that they were unable to heal from after lots of psychiatric evaluations and treatments and therapy and all different types of modalities, and there was no success until they did ayahuasca. So it is truly, truly amazing and really mind-blowing the power that this specific plant medicine and the ceremonies in which this medicine is facilitated and takes place in, what they can do for you as a person. Also, things like healing from severe depression, awakening you to higher levels of consciousness, like I said, spiritual awakening, and just promoting a sense of overall psychological well-being and helping you heal from emotional distress and different types of emotional disorders. Another interesting thing I wanted to tell you guys about was the preparation for an experience like this. So unlike other modalities, you have to focus on abstaining from quite a few things and really making sure that your vessel is completely clean before going into an ayahuasca ceremony. Like I said, it's a purgative, so there's a lot of throwing up and diarrhea and different things that could take place. So you want to make sure that your body's really, really clean, meaning no red meat, no pork, no processed foods, no oils, no sugar, no salt, no sex. Really abstaining from things like television, violent movies, media, social media, alcohol, drugs, and even caffeine. So you are totally purifying yourself before going into this process, which is going to help you purify even further. So you basically have to do this for, I think every facility is different. I've heard of some facilities requiring this dieta, is what it's called, for a month and a half prior to the ceremony. I actually started mine almost 3 weeks prior, but it was only required 7 days minimum for the ceremony that I did. I just wanted to make sure that I was like scared. It was my first time, so I was being an overachiever with everything. But I'll tell you one thing, it was so hard, you guys, you wouldn't believe. I could not believe how addicted I was to something stupid like salt, or just having a little bit of sweet with my drink in the morning, or how much I really love having my matcha tea and stuff. And it's like, damn, a lot of times I realize too that I definitely self-soothe using food, which I never thought I did before. So really what this does is not only just helps to purify your body, but it helps to show you what your attachments are and how you really cannot get by without certain things like foods and caffeine and alcohol or sex, how that really does affect you. It's absolutely mind-blowing. So I was really excited that I had the opportunity to really get clear in that sense as well. experience is usually done in like a tribal type setting. There are shamans who facilitate the ceremony, or I think they call them like ayahuasqueros or something. That could be, I could be pronouncing that incorrectly, so my apologies if so. But I think the experience was literally mind-blowing, and it was absolutely, like, in my opinion, you guys, I went somewhere with people who are they're not from this world, these two individuals who I am very excited to now call my friends. I'm so excited and stoked because this was seriously an out of this world experience that I think even if I hadn't taken the plant medicine, I would have benefited tremendously just from being in this environment. Wow, so amazing. The songs that they sing, which I've heard be called Icaros, I think is how you pronounce it. And it's almost, well, I always say it's almost as if, but then I've been corrected before, like, yes, it is as if. They're channeling this through the medicine. They're channeling it through the medicine, through the plant spirit, these songs that they sing in this tribal experience, and they're playing these amazing drums and instruments, and wow. I mean, it was out of this world, so insane. I cannot put it into words. I wish that all of you could experience what I experienced there. I cannot wait to be in that again. And the coolest part about it was it felt like I was home. I had a reading recently where I was told that I've had many lifetimes, like 30 plus lifetimes as an indigenous tribe member. So no wonder why I'm called to this and why it felt like home and how I knew to even begin healing myself using psilocybin mushrooms in the past. Yeah, I don't know where I got that idea or how I knew to do it on my own without any help. So yeah, it's just interesting how life kind of leads you and the spiritual awakening journey leads you onto these specific paths. So yeah, it's a shamanic whole endeavor of how they lead you. They're like medicine men and medicine women, right? And it's all this beautiful ceremony where we all come together. There was about 12 people total there. We all had to wear white. Now, the reason behind wearing white, it's not a cult thing. I've heard people say that before, like, it looks like you're in a cult. No, it's not that. If you know anything about the energetics between wearing black and wearing white, when you're going into a very spiritual ceremony like this, there are possibilities of getting energetic attachments, and there are spirits that come in. There are literally the craziest things that happen. It's wild. A lot of people are having energetic attachments released from them, from their energy field. You don't want any of that to attach to you. I'm not going to explain the whole science behind why black absorbs energy and why white reflects energy and like deflects energy. So white is the best thing that you can wear, even when you're going out into a crowded place, because you're not going to absorb everything, right? Like you would if you wore black. So anywho, that's why we wear white in ceremony. So in the ceremony, it all started, now I'll get kind of into my experience for you. It was so exciting to meet really cool new friends that were just super like-minded. There was no judgment. Everybody was there just really wanting to be more of their authentic self, and they were bringing just who they are to the table. There's like totally no judgment about the entire experience. So freaking cool to feel that way. You know, this world that we live in is like so unapologetically not authentic. And this was one of those environments, like I said, it made me feel so at home. So basically, we started the ceremony. We all had to be sage, get our energetic field nice and cleansed, and then we started a sharing circle. So basically, we dimmed the light. We called in all the directions, like all the angels, archangels, and spirits, and protectors, ancestors from all the different directions, north, south, east, west, as a group. And then there was a lot of intentions shared. So we passed around the puka shell, around the circle, and all shared our intentions for being there. So intention is a very important part of any type of plant medicine ceremony. So whether you're working with psilocybin, or you're working with ayahuasca, or you're working with peyote, or whatever it might be, it is very important that you go into the ceremony with intention. You do not want to go in and just say, give me the experience. You want to have a very specific reason for why you're there. So I'll be totally transparent. I have a lot of trauma from my past, sexual trauma, just trauma in general, and I wanted to heal my sacral chakra. And while I've been healing this a lot, and I feel like I'm really at a point in my life where I'm doing well. I'm starting to attract the right things into my life. I just know that there's a lot more healing that can be taking place, and I'm ready to step into that. I had that intention, and then also just becoming more authentic version of myself, and to show me and illuminate my path moving forward. Am I heading in the right direction? What do I need to know? What can you help illuminate for me moving forward? So ayahuasca this is going to sound crazy to anybody who's never studied it or who hasn't experienced it or whatever, but it's not just a plant medicine. It's actually a spirit that you're connecting with. And it's known as a grandmother spirit. It's like a very motherly feeling. I really can't explain it. You just will have to try it. But it is a very motherly presence, right? So it will talk to you. It will talk to you through your thoughts, and you know that it's something communicating with you. It's really hard to explain, like I said. So what we did was we were called up to drink our first drink. So I was called up, drank it. A lot of people said that they hate the taste of ayahuasca, and I actually really liked it. Of course, I'm kind of weird like that. But it was a very earthy, oh man, very bitter, very earthy. It did have quite a strong aftertaste, but I honestly did not mind it. So anyways, I went back to my bed. I had it all cozied up, blankets, pillows. I was just totally warm and cozy. And we are told to stay completely to ourselves. We are not to interfere with anybody else's experience. This is a total solo journey until they tell you at the end when you can start to communicate again, hours and hours later. So basically it is recommended that you go into a meditative space, very introspective. The lights are totally dark and the music starts. So it's these drums and it starts to get really intense. And it's like you're in a tribe, like a tribal setting. It is so primal and so cool. I just wish I could share it with you. It's so neat. So I'm sitting there and I don't know when it's gonna kick in and I don't know what's gonna happen. I have no idea. And at this point, I'm not even really nervous anymore because I was so nervous the weeks leading up to it. I've done so much research and I was pretty much mentally okay with everything that was happening at this point. So I don't really feel too much, but I do start to feel it coursing through my body. Okay, I mean, I don't see anything yet or whatever, but I do feel like it's strongly working on my body. So I feel it, I have some spinal issues as well as hip problems, and I feel it go straight to my hips and straight to my spine. I felt a presence, like goosebumps just up and down my back, and I am very clairsentient. I feel everything and I know through my feelings. So I just knew, I had a knowing that it was working heavily on my body, starting to clean out my energetic field, starting to work on some of my physical issues and ailments. So I just laid back and allowed the mother ayahuasca to do her work, right? And I was really honestly just enjoying the music. I was so mesmerized by this insane experience that was going on around me and how magical it was. After about, I think it was an hour, I want to say, we were called up for round 2. And I took the second one, went back and laid in my bed. Probably about 15 minutes later, I started experiencing some immense gratitude, like just the most gratitude I think I've ever experienced in my entire life. And it started to kind of run through my mind, showing me just basically, I felt like I was being celebrated, which was super cool. I guess, ayahuasca gives you the experience that you need in every moment. So while sometimes you might get a really, really severe experience where it doesn't appear to be as positive, because maybe that's what you need. Some people need to be scared out of their situations in life in order to make a change. But I hear a lot of times that ayahuasca, she doesn't want to scare you the first experience. She wants to build trust with you. She wants to get to know your body, your subconscious mind, and your psyche, and who you are as a person. So that's a lot of the first experiences are very blissful and euphoric and deeply healing and regenerative. And I definitely got that experience. I didn't really have any negativity at all. But this deep gratitude for everything, just basically showing me that over the past couple years, I've really changed my life in such profound ways. And I have really eliminated any type of toxic people, friends, and it's been really hard. I really have walked a very lonely path the past couple years, but I've really learned to be best friends with myself. And this is something that I'm forever grateful for. It's been a painful experience learning how to do that. And it was basically giving me a big congratulatory party for the choices that I've made and the discipline that I've exhibited. I've dedicated myself over the past 3 years to a very strict regimen of yoga and studying astrology and really not doing too much other than that. Yeah, I mean, I've had a couple weekends here and there where I went out and had fun in the past, but not many at all. I've honestly dedicated my whole life to spirituality and my path and my mission, even though I didn't know how it was going to play out or unfold, and I just had to trust, right? So it was really, really cool to feel like I was being congratulated for that and the decisions I made and the path that I've chosen. Yeah, and then it was really cool because it was showing me my parents and really showing me like my dad and how my dad has worked so hard his entire life. And these are things I already knew, but it was just like blowing it up and making it bigger so that I would have this immense sense of gratitude and really pay homage and respect to these people that have sacrificed their entire freaking life for me, and how amazing my parents are and how lucky I am to have parents who are amazing and how so many people don't. And it really just made me feel such immense gratitude for that and how hard my dad has worked every single day to provide for our family. And it just honestly brought tears to my eyes, like made me so unbelievably grateful. And then just showing me like, you've wanted friends, here they are. You're starting to attract all of these people and all of these things and all of these situations into your life with people who are actually in alignment with where you want to go in your life. And here you go. It's starting, like here it is. So it was like this whole, wow, like I can't believe this is happening, you know? Like this big party for me and everything is what it felt like. Then started to have my path lit up about this experience that I have right now of being able to be a teacher's assistant to this amazing astrologer who I'm working for. I'm her teacher's assistant for her amazing astrology academy, and how amazing of an opportunity. So it was really helping to, because I've had a lot of self-doubt, really doubting, I don't know, it's just been crazy. I think once you level up, a lot of insecurity comes out, self-doubt. You know, it always happens when you step outside of your comfort zone. You know, a lot of your insecurities will come to the surface, and I know that because I teach and coach people on that. So to, like I said, to be completely transparent, this whole experience of being a teacher's assistant, I've had some low confidence, and it was showing me like, you know, you have a lot of valuable knowledge that you have worked really hard and studied really hard to learn. And not everybody knows this kind of stuff. And you need to share it, and you need to be confident about it. And you need to know that it's valuable and that you have value. So it was really just helping me to boost my confidence a lot and to show me that I have something to offer the world. And it was really what I needed. I needed that really bad. And I see now that a week out of ceremony, it has really helped me. I feel changed on a very deep level. I don't have that sense of insecurity that I was going through and the self-doubt in my path and who I am as a person. It has really helped me in that area so much. So I'm very grateful for that. That's what I needed, and that's what I wanted so bad. So it was just showing me like this, you're on the path. Like keep doing what you're doing. This is an opportunity of a lifetime, and just showing me like how I'm learning how to structure a business and like learning from somebody who's building something pretty freaking amazing. So yeah, that was really cool. And then I started to get really tired. And I've always heard about some people having experiences where they sleep through it. I'll explain a little bit further what it means when you sleep through an ayahuasca experience. So I turned over and I laid on my side and I fell right asleep. And I was out for a while because I know they said after the second cup, it would be about 2 hours or more until they served the final cup. Next thing I know, somebody's at my bed waking me up. And I was like, whoa, scared the crap out of me. And they said, do you want your third cup? And I was like, sure, yeah. I would love to go a little bit deeper if that's possible. Because I still wasn't having a visionary experience, which I guess can be somewhat normal sometimes for your first experience, especially when the plant is just starting to work with your body. There were some scientific explanations, which I don't have for you right now, with the DMT being broke down in your body and So yeah, we'll see. I hope to have a more visionary experience next time, but I am very happy with the experience that I had. So I went up and got my third cup, and this one was very deeply transformative. So basically I went back to my bed, and this is when some trauma started to come up for me. The most interesting experience about this was that I was not to relive it. I was hearing all kinds of stuff going on around me. There was a lot of people purging. Oh my gosh, like it is like a purge from the depth of your soul. It is the most insane thing I've ever heard. So you can tell it's just not a normal throw up, right? And then also, people are really going through some experiences around me, like sounding very dark and crazy. Because you really, a lot of times you relive your trauma. You know, when they say like, if you have a broken bone, for instance, this is one of the metaphors that I heard. If you have a broken bone and it breaks, it'll grow back and it'll heal, but it's not going to ever be right. You're going to walk on it funny, and it's probably going to end up causing you pain later down the road in ways that you'd never expect. And that's the same with our trauma. We have traumatic experiences and we break, and yeah, we somewhat heal, not completely, but it'll close back up, but we're messed up from it. And we don't even realize that we're truly messed up. So basically what needs to happen is that bone needs to be rebroken in order for it to be put back together correctly. And that's exactly what ayahuasca is helping you to do. So it can be very painful to relive a lot of these emotions and experiences, and it is very real. It's a hallucinogen that makes it seem like you are in it. That's why it can be a little daunting to people too. But it's helping to put back the pieces correctly, right? So sometimes you have to feel it to heal it. Right? You have to re-break it and relive it in a harsh way. Well, I heard that, I never thought I was going to have this experience, but I heard that there are some people who have been through pretty severe trauma where the stage that they're at in their life, they've already learned a lot of lessons surrounding this, and maybe it's been many years later, and it's not beneficial for them to relive this extremely traumatic situation. So the medicine will put them under. Completely knock them out and put them to sleep. And it will do a lot of unconscious work on them. And that was the experience I had, which was really interesting. And I do feel very different after all of this. I feel lighter. I feel very calm. I don't care as much what other people think. And I honestly, I can't explain it all to you yet. It's only been a week. I'm still very much processing and integrating my experience, and I plan to make follow-up videos on this. But what had happened when I laid back down was that I was shown a very graphic image of a trauma that I honestly had totally forgotten about. It was so bad, and I won't even go there. It was very gruesome and horrific is the only thing I can say, from an ex-boyfriend that I had that was severely life-changing experience. It changed my life for the better. Now I look back at it, I'm like, wow. If that experience wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't be who I am today. And I thank the whole experience because of that. But it was with a very narcissistic, psychopathic person. And this was a very traumatic experience that I went through that I had totally, my mind had suppressed and gotten rid of because it was so traumatic. So I saw an image of it, but I knew, I had a psychic knowing that I was being protected from the energy of the experience. I wasn't to associate with any of the emotions. I wasn't feeling any of the emotions, and the image just became very dull, and I fell right asleep. So I knew that it was subconsciously working to remove a lot of these things from my memory and clear a lot of these traumas from my body. I woke up out of the snap of my dead sleep, and I felt like I had to throw up. So I grabbed my bucket from the side, and this was the first time that night that I felt like I had to purge it all, and I threw up immediately. And I'm assuming that's what I was throwing up, a lot of that trauma from that experience. I'm so very grateful that I did not have to relive that. How horrific. Very glad that I had the opportunity to help have that evil energy removed from my body and that horrific trauma removed from my body. But yeah, I threw up. and I threw up a second time. And then I just like sat there for a minute because it was very intense. And then I didn't feel like I had to throw up anymore. I laid back down and went to sleep immediately. So it was still working on me. And I slept, you guys, for hours and hours. And most people say, I don't know how the heck people sleep on ayahuasca. And for me, it was like, it knocked me out, immediately knocked me out. So even the facilitator was like, oh, wow, I was doing some deep, deep work on you and your body and everything. I'm like, yeah, I'm very grateful for that. Hopefully I will have a little bit more of a conscious experience next time. But one final funny thing that happened was, I remember, oh my gosh, they were like, all right, it's about time in the ceremony where everybody can join in on singing if you'd like, and we can start getting up and moving our bodies. And I'm thinking to myself, I am not in any frame of anything to get up at this moment. Like I had that third cup and I was out, but they were starting to pass around the puka shell again so that we could share about our experience, anything that we wanted to share at this point, to help us kind of come out of it and start communicating with each other again and really bonding as a group. And I remember them handing me the shell and I was like, there was no way I could talk or think. For that matter, I was still very much in my experience and I totally don't remember, but I was just sitting there and I guess they were all telling me later that they were waiting and there was like crickets and nobody was saying anything. And I basically fell right asleep. And they were like, oh, it's so cute. But yeah, so I was totally out and they took the shell and I guess I like laid back down in my bed. And everybody afterwards, there was a big celebration. There was a sharing circle and everybody was playing music upstairs and there was a big bonfire and there was food for everybody. And this is like 5:30 in the morning when this ceremony got over, but I slept through the entire night. I didn't attend the ceremony afterwards. I don't even remember people leaving the ceremony space. It was literally working on my body until 10:30 in the morning when I woke up. There was some deep, deep, deep junk being removed from my body, and I have been very much introspective and processing it all week and still am. I didn't feel like doing anything, not making videos, not studying astrology. I basically Netflixed it this week and I don't ever do that. It's all kind of still starting to unfold for me, but I notice a big change in myself that I think I'm going to continue to notice. I feel like I have no room in my life for bullshit or anybody that is going to bring me bullshit in any possible way. If you don't like who I am and you don't like what I bring to the table, that's not my problem. You don't have to be my friend. You don't have to be in my life. Yeah, I have like no bullshit sense to who I am right now. And I love that. I feel like I finally see my value and my worth in a humble way, of course. That feels really good. I mean, I was really down on myself for a while and I'm really excited about the future and I'm so unbelievably excited for the new friends that I have in my life and the opportunity for doing ayahuasca and being able to journey with her throughout the year. I'm so excited. And like I said, I'm doing 2 more ceremonies at the end of May and I cannot wait to share this with you guys and let you know what else I dig up inside of me and what other amazing things I have the opportunity to work on. There were obviously more things that were brought up for me during this experience, but this video is already so long. I'm not going to share every single portion of this experience with you because a lot of it's very private too. But I just wanted to share some key highlights with you. I am so excited to be on this journey of plant medicine. And if you have any questions or you would like to know anything else, leave it in the comment box below. If you are benefiting at all from this content or the things that I'm sharing, please help me out, like the video, leave me a comment below. And if you want to learn more and follow me on my journey of unfolding spiritual awakenings together and stepping onto this journey of plant medicine and healing deep from within yourself, as well as learning more about astrology, then make sure to tap the subscribe button. And once again, thank you guys so much. Sorry I've been on a hiatus, but I promise to be back in full force. Thank you guys so very much for watching this and being here with me today. Peace and namaste.